Hi. Okay, so you know what this is, Biconics wrestling nerds out there. We're not going to go through our normal shtick because we got things to do. But hello, konnichiwa, hi, bonjour, whatever country you are watching this from. We are the takedown troop. Well, at least two out of three of us are here for this. Unfortunately, Will could not join us. I'm very sad, but I'm interested to see his picks and once we get all the final matches. But me and my lovely co-host Andrew are here to give our predictions for TNA Sacrifice, which is happening at the time that this video is showing in a couple of hours. So it's gonna be crazy. Andrew, we literally were just here giving our no surrender predictions, and literally not even a week later, we're here giving our sacrifice predictions. I'm still going to enjoy the pay per view. I think the matches that we have announced so far are going to be fantastic, but I'm also looking forward to actually having a couple of weeks before having to do another TNA predictions video because we got a couple of weeks until Rebellion, which is going to be fantastic. But me and Andrew are here. We're going to run through. At the time of this recording, we only have 6 matches announced for Sacrifice to be on the card. So, what we're going to do here, like we always do in our predictions videos, we're going to run through the non title matches first. Then we're going to get into the championship matches that are occurring at the said pay per view, saving our main event because we did get confirmation what our main event is for Sacrifice to save it for last. And then we're going to get on out of here. So, without further ado, let's get predicting. So we're going to start with our non-title matches first. So in no particular order, we're going to start off with the first match that we got confirmation from that is happening at Sacrifice. Nick Nemeth versus Steve Macklin. So the story has been building at this time. Nick Nemeth is the new kid in TNA Playground. Steve Macklin has claimed his territory. And after an unlikely pairing with the Rascals, we have gotten various iterations of matches between Nick Nemeth and his friends of Speedball Mountain and Mike Bailey and Trent Seven. Obviously, Nick has been in Japan for a couple of weeks doing New Japan things where he is now the new NJPW Global Champion, beating David Finlay, which was really, really nice. But the whole overarching narrative that we've gotten so far is that Nick got beat up by Steve Macklin a couple weeks ago. Macklin and the Rascals have been running Speedball Mountain through the mud and taking them out in the matches. And Steve Macklin just this past week cut a promo saying that he ran Nick Nemeth out of TNA, in which we got a video package promo from Nick Nemeth stating that Steve Macklin, if he has the guts to show up at Sacrifice and they can settle this in the ring, mono, e-model, no factions, no other people involved. So, Andrew, who do you have taken the win here in this match between Nick and Steve?
I'm gonna have to go with Nick Nemeth on this one. I mean, first of all, he's just the one of the big names signed to TNA recently. I think even more so if his New Japan title is on the line. I don't see him losing that in TNA, especially this soon. So yeah, my big pick is for Nick Nemeth on this one, but I think this is going to be an awesome match.
I agree with you. I think this is going to be a fantastic match, but of course, I'm also going to go with Nick Nemeth. I think Steve and the Rascals have been able to kind of get their fair share of good things happening to them, that I think Nick coming back to TNA to settle the score is going to start the official feud where we're probably going to get a 6-man at some point between these 6. But I'm going with Nick Nemeth at this. Also, spoiler alert, me and Andrew may probably be agreeing with a lot of this stuff. But you know what? It's totally going to be okay. So then we get into our next non-title match. So this is going to be our 6-man tag team match. We have Time Machine, which is going to be our former X Division champion Chris Sabin teaming up with his good pals Kushida and Kevin Knight, taking on the team of our new X Division champion Mustafa Ali and his entourage now of the Good Hands. This is going to be an entertaining match. The story we've gotten here is not too long ago at No Surrender. In the main event, Mustafa Ali was able to beat Chris Sabin to become the new X Division champion. Last week, we did try to get an inauguration ceremony, which was interrupted by Chris Sabin. Throw some insults at Ali. The good hands get involved by trying to beat up Sabin. Sabin throws hands. Ali gets involved. Kushida and Kevin Knight come in for the save. So therefore, we set up these six for a match. I'm going to go first with this one, and I'm pretty sure Andrew's going to agree with me. I think this is going to be a fantastic match, but come on now. I got to give it to the Mustafa Ali and the good hands to win this one. You just crowned Ali as your new X Division champion. And honestly, I don't see him losing so soon here in TNA. But also, I'm also thinking too, a win for Ali and a win for the good hands would actually I like the good hands. A win for them would be like, okay, TNA is actually utilizing them the way I would hope for after, them putting themselves over and them doing the work that they've been given. Like, I was a big fan of the good hands after we got that the Revenge of the Fans strap match that we got like towards the end of 2023 last year. I was like, okay, I'm all behind the good hands now. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Ali in the good hands with this one. I think this is gonna be a really fun match too.
Yeah, I agree. I think Ali and the good hands are going to win. Same thing as Nick Nemeth. Ali's so super new, big name, just won the title. And if anyone's going to have shenanigans, it's probably going to be their side. Kind of hope we embrace how much Ali is over with the fans, and don't try to force making him a heel. But yeah, Ali and the good hands for me in this one.
Splendid. And then of course we get into our final non-title match so far. Okay, so we got to mentally and physically, emotionally prepare ourselves because collectively, me, Andrew, and Will lost our minds when we saw the first interaction at Hard to Kill between Josh Alexander and his opponent Alexander Hammerstone. But we are getting Josh Alexander versus Alex Hammerstone round two at Sacrifice. The only story that you need to be aware of is that TNA has officially signed Alex Hammerstone, which is a big signing for those of us who've been following Hammerstone on the independent scene. This is a big get for TNA. And the fact that him and Josh Alexander immediately don't have to wait too long in order to get another round between the two of them, I'm all for it. This is going to be fantastic. I was telling Andrew before we begin recording, I'm still on the fence of who wins this one, but after some thinking about it, I have to give it to Hammerstone on this one. I think, given the fact that he just signed, I don't necessarily think he should lose in his first official match as a TNA signee. And while I don't like the idea of Josh losing after building up all this momentum he has, I think losing to Hammerstone here doesn't hurt him. And it's kind of the same vein of when Josh lost to Will Ospreay in their
Mm-hmm.
first encounter, where the match is going to be phenomenal. They're going to be great. And Josh doesn't lose anything from losing to Hammerstone. So I'm going to go with Hammerstone to win this one. And we eventually get the rubber match at some point.
Yeah, I agree. I think Hammerstone is going to and should win this one. Like you said, he's the new signee. And I think it's better for long term storytelling. And I think you can still play on if Josh loses, him getting his momentum back by picking up the win in the trilogy match, which you also don't have to do right away necessarily. So I think this match will be a super Haas match, and it'll be fun to see Hammerstone come out of it with a first TNA victory.
I'm super excited for this match. I think this has the potential to be probably my favorite match of the evening in terms of non-title matches. I'm going to be honest, anything Josh Alexander is thrown into, I'm immediately a big fan of, but that's because I love Josh Alexander and he's become a cornerstone for this iteration of TNA, just like another person we're going to talk about in a little bit, that she is also a cornerstone for TNA too in this modern era, and like they are the faces of this company. So that's going to cover our non title matches. And so now let's get into the three championship matches that have been officially announced at the time of this recording. So the first match is for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. This is going to be seeing our champions, ABC, who are coming off of a stellar best of three series with Grizzled Young Vets, which is fantastic. So Chris Bay and Ace Austin taking on the System, our newly formed faction that we got at Hard to Kill, which is being represented in this iteration by Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers. So I'm going to be controversial. So the story that we've gotten here is that this past week, there's a 6-person tag with Moose and Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards taking on ABC and Eric Young. And ABC ended up getting pinned during that match. I'm going to be controversial. I'm going to pick the System to win the tag titles here. I think there's a potential to tell a really fun story, especially after Sacrifice. We have a couple weeks until Rebellion, and I think having the System hold the tag team championships while Moose is holding the world championship, I think is a good thing, and kind of play that story to get the challengers ready to face them at Rebellion, which is the next big four, which is also going to be back in Vegas, which I was like, damn, I wish I had money so I could go if I had known that beforehand, but it's neither here nor there. And I don't think there's anything wrong with ABC losing the titles. They've had a really fun run. The best of 3 series with the Grizzled Young Vets has solidified them as a team, and as like champions, they're great. But honestly, I think I'm ready to start to see ABC start chasing those titles again, because I think having them chase them would be a really fun story to tell. But I'm picking the System to become our new TNA World Tag Team Champions in this one.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I think the System's going to win this one for all the exact same reasons that you just said. It just makes sense.
Oh my gosh. See, internet, me and Andrew, I did say me and Andrew will probably agree on most of this. And this is how we can have civil conversations without being tools to each other on the internet. I may or may not be invoking real life beef that has occurred, but you know what? That's neither here nor there. Okay. So now I am super excited for this next match we're talking about. This is going to be a triple threat for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. The champion Jordan Grace is defending her title against Tasha Steeles and newer to TNA at this point, Zaya Brookside. Okay. So we got this match because again, we've had a best of 3 series between Tasha and Zaya, with Zaya picking up the first win, Tasha picking up the second one, and this past week on TNA, we had a third and final match where the winner of this third match would end up going to face Jordan Grace at Sacrifice, which we learned the day of the episode air. Be like, oh yeah, it's the number 1 contenders match. Cool. So the match ends up in a double count out. So there is no winner. Jordan Grace pulls the boss move of the century. She's like, you know what? I was just like, I'm a defending champion, so guess what? I'm gonna fight both Tasha and Zaya Brookside at Sacrifice. We're gonna make this thing a triple threat. I am super excited because I think each 3 of these women brings a different style. Jordan being the powerhouse, Tasha being the nitty gritty, like doing whatever it takes to win, and Zaya Brookside being the speedster of the 3 in her fast pace of wrestling, which we know her to be. I think this is a phenomenal match. However, I am going to pick Jordan Grace to retain here. I don't think it's Jordan's time to lose this, but I am super excited to have these 3 women combine their different styles. And I think this has the potential to probably be my favorite match if we get time and if all 3 women get a chance to do what they're best at in this match. This is going to be so good. I'm excited.
I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one. I think Tasha. No, I'm just kidding. Jordan Grace is going to win
I was
this
going to
one.
say, I was like, what?
No, no. I think it was smart to set this up as a triple threat just because it's going to give it some more dynamic, especially on a really packed card. And it makes Jordan look super dominant coming out of this, defeating 2 top women. And yeah, she's won this too soon. She should have at least a 6-month run with the title, really dominating the entire division. Especially till I feel like they can either bring in or build someone. There's someone with a certain amount of elegance that might be someone they're looking at for future. But I think until we have that right person, Jordan's going to hold that title for a good long time.
Oh, absolutely. So then we are getting into our main event, which TNA has confirmed is going to be the main event to Sacrifice, where we're going to have a match for the TNA World Championship. Eric Young taking on the champion Moose. This match occurred because we got a match between Eric Young and Frankie Kazarian at No Surrender, where, again, on the day of the show, we come to find out not only were we getting this match, but there were stakes to be involved with it because the winner of this match would get a TNA World Championship match at Sacrifice, which is taking place in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. And Eric Young ended up winning that bout thanks to Frankie Kazarian's ego getting the best of him. And so, okay. So I could see reasons why to give Eric Young the championship to lead into Rebellion. I think this is going to be a phenomenal match. And to my surprise, to come to find out, this is the first time Eric Young and Moose have interacted in a singles match like this in any capacity for title or no title in this version of TNA. I was like, huh. Okay. That makes me even more excited. I love your Eric Young. I think he will make a great champion at some point, but I can't bet against Moose on this one. So I'm going to say that Moose retains here, but I think this is going to be a phenomenal match. And when you have a veteran like Eric Young in the ring, it's going to bring out the best in Moose. And I'm so excited to see, but I got Moose retaining on this one.
Yeah, once again, I agree with you. I think what they're doing with the system, the same reason I think that the system's going to win the tag titles, Moose is going to retain. It also gives him another win over another TNA veteran, which is kind of their whole thing, is like fighting against the TNA system. So yeah, I think Moose is going to win this, but like you said, a match with him and Eric Young is going to be a phenomenal match. And Eric Young's willing to go out there and just do whatever he needs to do to put on a good match, especially to help somebody else kind of progress. But there could be some interesting storytelling coming out of Eric Young losing this and having to deal with the fallout of that. But yeah, I think Moose walks away and the system leaves this pay-per-view with all the gold.
I think it sets up a nice story to build towards Rebellion and to find challengers for those titles. It makes me very excited and interested to see who is going to end up facing Moose and the system for those titles as well. And at the time of this recording, those are the 6 matches that we're getting. But who knows what else we're going to get? There may or may not be a Knockouts Tag Team Championship match, or even just a regular Knockouts Tag Team match. Who knows what we're going to get? There might be some pre-show matches we don't know yet, but I'm super excited. I think this is going to be a great pay-per-view. And of course, the Takedown Troop boys are going to be watching this thing separately, but then we will be back tomorrow night on Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time reviewing this thing. It is a busy, busy, busy week for everybody. But the beautiful thing is, once this is over, then the 3 of us are going to be looking straight ahead towards the next big 4 pay-per-view for TNA, which is Rebellion. I'm super excited. I'm super excited. It seems like just yesterday we just got done with the first big 4 pay-per-view of the year, Hard to Kill, and we are encroaching ever closer to the next one in Rebellion. But me and Andrew are going to get on out of here. So you can check out our live stream review of Sacrifice this Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Me, Andrew, and hopefully will be there to dissect everything that went down. So I'm super excited. But from myself and Andrew and Will, we'll see you for the review. We're going to get on out of here. Ta-ta for now.